guys? It's your boy ZST, aka Zach Stunner Time. You already know we back with another live stream chat. Today marks day 61 out of 365 days. Man, I'll tell you what, these days are flying by. If you're not familiar with the content, basically, we're trying to become an influencer on top of becoming a person that is motivating other people to come to Christ and follow God's plan. So today we're talking about what do we reflect on. This is our devotion, Good Sunday, March 2nd. We're already 2 months down, heading on to the third month now, chat. And we've seen some progress for the most part. There's a lot of things I do want to start doing with my content, as I talked about it in the last couple of live streams in the gym. Pretty much just bringing my whole life into content creating. So if I say I go out to eat with my friends, live streaming that, going shopping, live streaming that, just to get like more variety of content. Eventually, once I do find me a new job and I can start making passive income, I'm gonna start doing the edits again. Because right now it's really hard to like sit down and edit because I don't have CapCut Pro or like anything that kind of like would make an edit worth posting, if you know what I mean. Like, I could easily just make something like cringe edit or something like that, but I'm gonna wait till I can get those effects and transitions back. It's been super hard this past month, chat. Ever since like January 20th, I lost my car, walked out of my job, and it's all God's plan though. What I'm saying, chat? Like, there's not a day in my mind that there's not gonna be something better in return in the future. Sometimes I look back and I reflect on walking on my job. At the same time, like, I can't complain. Like, yeah, I miss the paychecks every week, but at the same time, like, life is a lot better than feeling the miserableness going in and out of work. Because like for me, like, I always talk about this to a lot of people, like, I don't want to spend my more time of my life at work than I do at home, if that makes sense. Like, I'm a very firm believer, do things that you love doing. And you'll start mastering it the more and more and more you put your time and effort into something that you love doing. For me, it's the content creating. For me, it's sitting behind the camera and getting to, try to build an audience of people that are like minds like me and help people build their self-love or build that mindset or perspective that helps you become successful, if that makes sense. There's a lot of things that we can do in this life to be successful. It's not just content creating or doing those type of things, but necessarily it's all about seeking your genuine passion, seeking your genuine desires. And three things that you need to have is patience, discipline, and commitment. I feel like with those three things right there, chat, you can put something together and you can start craving off your your masterpiece of art. And I'm a big firm believer in the more that you manifest it and the more that you keep working for it and the more that you just keep being consistent, eventually you're going to see that sort of progress. And for me to tell you guys, it's not going to come overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. For some people, they might get lucky, but for the people that try, there's going to be a lot more failed attempts. It's going to be fail. And with that algorithm, when you fail so many times, a lot of people give in and give up, and that's it's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of effort to want to be consistent in doing something, because like once you feel like you can't accomplish it after you failed like so many times, you're like, yeah, maybe I need to do something else. But little do you know, that next shot or that next attempt could have been the one that went in. So I just want to tell you guys, like, if I can do it, you can do it. Obviously I wanted to start off my content creating with 365 days of live content. The more that I keep working for it, the more ideas that pop up in my head. And like I said, I want to get more content ideas and more content creations out to my content. Pretty much we're just going to keep on working on that. We're going to keep on, exploring the different ideas, exploring the different, objectives, and, eventually we're going to conquer something. And by the end of this 365 days, who knows where we're going to be at? We might have hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We might have hit 500 followers on Twitch. We do not know. All I do know is I'm going to keep showing up. And I said that yesterday's live stream was just show up. The things that you don't like doing, act like you love it anyways. That's the only way you're going to be successful, is doing the things that you hate or dislike and acting like you love it anyways. And that goes back to just showing up in life. The more that you show up, even when you don't feel like showing up, at the end of that day, you can look back and be like, man, before I went, I didn't feel like showing up, but I'm glad that I showed up now. And I feel like with that mindset, and you just start, you know, prospering yourself, and you just start looking to the mirror and reminding yourself how wonderful a person you are, you can start seeing the more highs than the lows. It all just takes about how you wake up in the morning. If you wake up with a negative mindset, you're going to have a negative day. That's the number one key, is be positive as much as you can. Yo, what's up, Tricky? Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the fam. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Absolutely. I love it. Come on. Yes, sir. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, wonderful night, my man. You know, just out here, we out here doing our devotion, doing our weekend devotion. Pretty much just talking about the right things to do in life and how to become successful as a person. I feel like the biggest part of life is just understanding the algorithm of just showing up, and that's what we're just talking about, is just showing up. You know, it's one of those things in life when you just start kind of putting the things in your mind, you can start doing things. Mind listening to my new YouTube Shorts song. Absolutely, we got a new YouTube Shorts. Oh, we can listen to it. Hold on, let me get my headset on. We'll listen to it. Oh God. Get everything switched over here real quick. What's the, I don't know if you can send links into the thing, but what's it called? If You Love Me by Tricky Tran. Oh my God, I got you, bro. I got you. Ray, we're gonna support you, brother. Ah, dang it. I appreciate the bits, my man. I really do. I appreciate that. You said YouTube. Pull up YouTube. Hold on, let me get everything switched over here real quick. Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it. Alright, you said, hold on, let me get this minimized real quick. You said, do these shorts. Alright, I got you, bro. I'm just gonna pull this over here. You said, If You Love Me by Tricky Tran on YouTube. Tricky Tran. You said on YouTube Shorts. Tricky Tran. Let me know which one it is, if you can see it. I appreciate the follow. Appreciate the follow too, Tricky. I really do. Yes, sir. Make sure you spell it right. If You Love Me. Tricky Tran. Tricky. Oh, I forgot the Y. Tricky Tran. Tricky Tran. Around shorts. If You Love Me. If You Love Me. If You Love Me. My Tricky Tran. Go back to the other screen. All. This one right here. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, Tricky. Okay. Bro, this is fire. We're gonna subscribe. I got you with the subscription as well. Bro, this is fire, bro. That's fire, bro. You, I love you. Okay, okay, man. I see you out there with the grind. You know, my thing to you, bro, you know, just keep doing you. All right, just keep working hard on the things that you love doing. You know, my biggest thing, as I tell people, the more consistent that you are, the more that you start seeing progression. And that's fire, man. Like, that's really fire. Like, as somebody that tried to get that, like, as somebody that tried to get into music, like, I love music. And my boy Noah, he does music. He's a producer on like Apple iTunes and stuff like that. And you know, I get in the studio all the time with him, but like, I'm not meant for the music industry. I mean, there's some days I can go in there and like I can like freestyle or like, I can make a song. But what's your name? My name's Zach. My name's Zach. I appreciate the biz too, man. I really do. This is, you know, this is making my night. You know, I'm glad I went live at this time. You know, because I was holding it off because I was watching the Lakers game for a little bit, watching the Suns game for a little bit, and then I was like, I gotta get this live stream in. But I really appreciate the bits and stuff like that and the follow too. You're making my night. You're making my night. So, but no, that is fire. You know, just keep promoting it too. You know, promote it not only on YouTube. Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome for the sub. I mean, thank you for following and thank you for the bits. Absolutely. If you're gonna help me out, I'm gonna help you out. But yeah, keep posting that, you know, over and over and over again. Like, make shorts on like TikTok. TikTok's a great platform as well. And Instagram Reels. Like, I don't like do the whole song on TikTok. Like, kind of make like a music video to it, or like something that like would gain an audience, and like make like 30 seconds long on it. Like, so like get your favorite part from your song of it, and then put that like 30 seconds that you like from your song, and then like start promoting on TikTok. I feel like that's the greatest place to do it at, because like there's so many people on TikTok these days. But also like the Instagram Reels, like I was saying, Instagram Reels is also really good as well. You know, I'm trying to get back into the sitting down editing part. I feel like that's the hardest part about being a content creator though, is like taking the time to edit. I feel like that is the most disciplined part you need, is because like it can be very impatient to do that. But I mean, 3 days ago it already has 469 views. You onto something. You onto something. It already has 469 views. That's good. You know, I appreciate you. You know, appreciate you coming in and, you know, hopping in and telling me to listen to it. I'm gonna share that. I mean, you know, with the stream, you know, whoever goes back, because I post these VODs, I post these live streams to my YouTube channel. So if somebody goes back and watches this on YouTube, they'll see that as well, and they can also go view it as well. Because what I'm doing to focus on my content is just basically taking the live streams that I do from Twitch. I have a YouTube channel called ZST Live, and all I do is I take these VODs and I just throw them onto YouTube. And then eventually, once I get into the algorithm that I'm trying to find that helps me out, I'm going to start sitting down, making some edits, making some, you know, actual edited videos or short clips to go on my main YouTube channel. I only got like one video posted on my main YouTube channel. But right now I'm just trying to focus on figuring everything out with content creating, and, you know, trying to learn as much as I can every day. Going back to like what we do in our lives, it goes back to like basically like this is like something that we're trying to do. For you, I see that you're a female rapper too. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. You know, keep your head up and keep that smile going. You're gonna have a bright future, I can tell. Just gotta keep being consistent. That's all it is. But I really appreciate the bits. I appreciate the follow, man. Like, I really do. Welcome to the ZST fam. Welcome to Zach's Son of Time fam. But like I was saying, it's just one of those things, like when you start doing something that you love doing, you know, you just gotta keep being pursuable into it, and you gotta keep envisioning it. Because I feel like a lot of people give up. Like I said earlier, a lot of people give up when they feel like they can't accomplish something. But everything in this life, we can grant something to be accomplishable. And it just takes, like I said, it takes taking the time and effort into it day by day. And going back to like how we wake up in the morning, if we wake up with a negative mindset, it's a negative day already. So my challenge to you guys, you know, whoever's watching, is to wake up in the morning and, you know, just have a positive day. Whatever, no matter what's going on for that day, no matter what you got planned, just wake up in the morning right when the alarm clock hits, which is the coach whistling, and just, get to work. Just start going to work, and just show up, show up, show up, show up. Because the more that you start being positive and the more that you start putting your time and effort into something that you love doing, the more that you can get in return. Like I said, I'm a firm believer in manifestation. I'm a firm believer in, putting yourself first and putting yourself down the path that you may not feel, the most certain about. It takes being uncomfortable to become comfortable. That's one of my biggest things I love saying in life is, these little tiny quotes that remind me to be better every day. Um, I've been through a lot of adversity in my life, and especially ever since I started the content creating, it's definitely been it's been a definitely a different way of going around things in life. Like, I wouldn't have thought to lose my car, and I wouldn't have thought to have all these other things happen. But this is God's plan. God is working with me and not against me, and I understand that. And who knows, God could have saved me from a car accident with my BMW, or God could have put me in this situation that I'm given now because of something that could have happened later down the road. So I'm always blessed without, with anything that happens in my life, and I got to, I got to remain calm. It is hard sometimes to remain calm though. And one of the biggest things that I'm working on is like the anger and the frustration when the tiniest things, hit me. I'm like, oh, I'm first to get mad, but going to the Lord and prospering our God, we have to understand that, we have to go to Him for our problems. We have to go to Him for our anxiety, cast our burdens onto Him, as He wants us to do that. And that's one thing I've been developing over the past 3 months of being consistent, is just, allowing God to work with me and actually taking the time to build my relationship with my Lord. And I feel like that's the biggest thing in life, is understanding that, how we build our relationship with God is how we get closer with Him. A lot of people might just sit there and pray, or they might think that they're a believer in Christ, but necessarily they're not making the right steps to build that relationship with Christ. And I think it's very important to understand, like, for me, when I talk to God or I talk to Jesus, it's like I'm talking to somebody that I'm talking to in person. Like, it's just kind of one of those things that it helps my mind, helps me be at ease, and it helps me just kind of like be able to take my own route or take my own, game plan. I feel like when I'm sitting there and I'm meditating to the Lord, I'm talking to him as if He was sitting right beside me, because the Lord is sitting right beside me. The Lord's always with me no matter where I'm heading to. He's our good shepherd. If you haven't already, go check out the Good Shepherd's parts. It was 6 parts of the Good Shepherd. I think those topics, those devotions that I did over the last couple of weeks was really good. Our Good Shepherd part 1 was one of my favorites, and our Good Shepherd part 4, I think it was also one of my favorites of talking about our Good Shepherd. We always got to understand that God is always going to feed us, protect us, and guide us. That's the 3 things that He's always going to do in our lives. And knowing that He has our back through the unwanted times or the uncertain times is the most important part. It takes going down that dark tunnel with no light into it to find the light. And it might be scary, and it might have fears, and you might have doubts about it, but the more that you just keep going, and the more that you keep going down that dark tunnel, eventually you're going to see some sort of light. And a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people want to give up and not go down that because they feel uncertain. But for you guys, what I do is, like, when I feel the most uncertain, I jump. If I'm on that edge, I'm jumping off that edge. I'm going straight for it. Because you never know what's going to be there in return. You never know if it was meant to be or not. You got to take the risk to get the reward. If you're not taking the risk to get the reward, then you're never going to know if you could even got that reward. And I feel like that's the same with my gambling problem, because I do be betting a lot. Like, I'm a firm believer one day all the betting that I do is going to come back. And I know gambling's like really bad. Like, especially if you don't really have the money to gamble, then you shouldn't be gambling. And I'm in that situation right now. Like, each time I get money in my name, I'm always trying to make that parlay. I'm trying to make that 4-leg, 5-leg parlay, and I'm trying to smack it so I can have more money. But that's just because, like I said, I feel like eventually one day I'm gonna have that luck and I'm gonna hit. Just like even over this past week, and this is where like gambling comes in my life. They reeled me in. I'm not gonna lie. Let me get a sip of water real quick, chat. They reeled me in. So I'm heading to a state to go snowboarding. I'm heading to North Carolina with my family, and I'm on the way to North Carolina, right, chat? And I'm looking at these parlays. I'm cooking it up. I had like Utah Jazz money line, had Lakers money line, had Knicks money line, had Cavs money line, had Nuggets money line, and I had Cavs in Boston to go over 216.5 total points, chat. And I'm looking at this parlay. I'm like, I'm about to smack $10 on it. $10 was to win like 1,800 something. It was crazy odds. But I had firm belief put that $10 down. But I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to not bet today. I'm gonna hold myself to what I want to do and not bet. So like I did not bet. Like literally, like I'm not gonna lie, chat. Like last 2 months, I've been betting every single day. Like from like December to all the way till February like 28th. Chat. Like I've betted every single day. Like there wasn't one day that I did not bet. And the one day that I don't bet, chat, like the one day, like any other day I'm placing that $10 wager on that parlay to win 1,800. The one day that I don't place that $10 wager, chat, that parlay smacks. And I didn't place it, so I didn't get no money because I was like, I'm gonna hold myself to the standard of not betting. And that's where these apps get you. Like they know, you know what I'm saying, chat? Like they definitely know. Because I'm sitting there, I'm looking at these games, I'm like, no way this is going to hit. If I would have placed $10, I would have been up almost $2,000. Like, you know how much $2,000 would do, you know, in my current situation right now? Like, and I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, beyond, just like, what do you mean? But, you know, I'm really trying to focus on getting away from the gambling for the most part. You know, every day is an opportunity to try to be a little bit better. I would say for the most part, I'm not as bad as I was doing. I was placing like 5 to 6 parlays a day. And that was killing my bank account, chat. Killing my bank account. Like I said, if you haven't already gotten to gambling, I definitely say like try it, but make sure you do your research. Make sure you spend time, you know, looking at the stats and, you know, analytics before you just shoot yourself in there. Because for the longest time, I would just look on YouTube, watch these YouTube videos, and tell people, and I would never win because I'd tell people. And like necessarily, like if you find the right people to tell, then like yeah, you might win, you might profit, but literally like gambling itself, like, I believe it's rigged. But like I said, the only reason I'm doing it now is because like it's a chance to get out of that, you know, it's a chance to get that freedom. It's a chance to get that, you know, say I do, like I've been very close to winning like really big money, you know what I'm saying, chat, like really big money. I've been really close. And you know, I know like content creation is just not gonna blow up in like one day. So like, and even if I did work a job, like necessarily like I could hit a $10, like I said, like I could hit a $10 parlay and win 2,000 in a day. I'm gonna take that odds, you know what I'm saying, chat? Like, you know how hard it'd be to save up $2,000 in a day from work? Like, nobody's making, well, there's people out there making $2,000 a day, but me, I'm not making $2,000 a day, you know what I'm saying, chat? And there's a lot of things I want to be able to accomplish, you know, in my 20s, which is traveling, which is, you know, getting myself out there, you know, going to do the things I want to do before, you know, I do get older. And like I said, I'm just going ahead and getting all the gambling out now because I know for a fact later down the road, when, you know, hopefully I am blessed with a wife and I'm blessed with kids in the future. That's something I'm looking forward to. But I don't want to be that, you know, gambling dad when I'm a father. You know what I'm saying, Chad? So I just think it's better to go ahead and get all the gambling out of my life now. And while I'm at a young age, you know, I'm super blessed with the family that, you know, I was blessed into. I don't have to worry about paying rent, you know, or having to make that extra sacrifice, you know, for the money to give out. So I got a lot of free money I can play with. And you know, like I said, I either shoot my shot now, try to win big now, so that I could set myself up for a better future. But if I never take the risk, then obviously there won't be no reward if you don't take the risk. But am I encouraging gambling? Absolutely not. No, 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 no. I am not encouraging gambling. It's just something I struggle with for the most part because I am a very good sports person. I love sports. You know, I think it just adds a little bit more sweat to watch the games. And I just feel like it, you know, it kind of makes me happy too sometimes. Most part, it doesn't make me happy at all, but you know what I'm saying, chat. But it's something that I'm working with, and you know, I'm working to better myself in. And like I said, like we're no one's perfect in this life, and you know, like I said, I just want to go ahead and get all the gambling out while I'm at a young age, and then when I get all the gambling out at a young age, if I do hit big, I hit big. If I don't, you know, that's going to tell on me. But it'll be better than me being 30 years old, having a wife and kids, and then me gambling every single day and put my family at risk and to debt. So I'd rather just put myself into debt now and then work for it in the future. You know what I'm saying, Chad? Because I'm a firm believer, like, I don't want to be working in a warehouse job, or I don't want to be working that, you know, 12-hour shift job, you know, when I'm 30 years old working every day. You know what I'm saying, Chad? Like, if I have a wife and I have a kids, I'm trying to be at home as much as I can, you know what I'm saying, Chad? Because that's the thing, what people don't understand in this, you know, life that we're living in is just basically like more people spend a lot more time at work than they do home. And that's something I've always told myself. Like, I want to be able to spend more time at home than I do at work. You know what I'm saying, Chad? Like, that should be our gift in return. But unfortunately, that's not how the economy works or the government works. You know, the government wants us to work every single day of our lives and makes us feel miserable. unless you have a really good job that you can work 3 days a week and get paid bread for it. But other than that, you're working 5 days a week, sometime overtime every week, whatever you're working upon. But like I said, Chad, that's just not something I want to fall into the trap of. I want to be able to be successful at a young age so I can set myself up, in the future. Listen to my new YouTube short song. Appreciate the more vids. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate the more bits. Yes, ma'am. But it's something that, over time and over life, it's just something that you put into perspective of the things that you love doing. And unfortunately, one of the things I got into and I started doing at a young age was gambling. They make Prize Picks, Underdogs, Rebet, Sleeper, all these betting apps 18 plus. So as soon as I turned 18, I was like, download on my phone. We're gonna try and win. And I've been doing it since I was 18. I've had good winning weeks and I've had really bad losing weeks. And, like I said, it's just about the risk to reward. And, what I'm saying, chat, like, I just want to be able to take that risk now and hopefully get that return in the future. But to start off, that was a little bit sidetracked from usually what I do on devotions. But, I got to help somebody. They helped me out. So that's, very blissful. Shout out Tricky. I really appreciate her coming in here and, give me the support, and I give her the support. So that's really good. But to start off with what do we reflect on? Take these off. We have we're gonna start off in Proverbs 27:19, chat, and it says, "As in water reflects face, so the heart of man reflects man." And that's Proverbs 27:19. When I was writing this devotion down, chat, I actually really like this devotion, and for the most part, when I was like I said, when I was writing it down, I feel like this is something that I talk about a lot in my day-to-day life, and I felt like this was just something like when I seen it, I was reading it, because usually I take a couple, I look at different devotions and then I look at them like, okay, which one would be the best one for me to do my devotion on. And this one just kind of stood out to me, and because I preach about these things every single day, so I'm going to tie it in to the devotion today. And I'm trying to better myself in a lot of different aspects. Just showing up on time more. That's something I need to work on, is being more time organized. Because I will say, for the most part, chat, not having a job is something that, like, you would think that it's really nice not having a job until, like, you're not making no passive income, or you're just sitting there and you're like, what am I going to do today, right, chat? There's 24 hours in a day, and if you're not going to school or not having a job, you got like 16 hours to get stuff done. So for me, I'm trying to discipline myself, bettering myself, and giving myself more time to do the things I love doing. And eventually, once I do find that time, management, and I do start to become more organized, I can get to where I need to get to. But starting off in our first passage, chat, we're starting off with, water is like a mirror. As we look into a pool of water, we see our reflection. So it is with a person's heart. Our heart is like a mirror. It reflects what we're truly like. Luke 6:45 says that if we were to have good in our hearts, we will produce good. But if we have evil in our hearts, we will produce evil. And that's one of the parts I wanted to stop at real quick and talk about. I'm going to go to market so I don't lose my part where I'm at. That goes back to what I was saying earlier, is when you wake up in the morning, it's important to have that positive mindset, because if not, you're going to have a negative mindset. And it's just all about how you wake up in the morning, chat. It literally is. Like, if you want to have a good day, you have to wake up and have the intentions of having a good day. For me, I'm a person that lives for the unexpected. That's one of the biggest things I was, taught to learn. And, I just feel like living for the unexpected. You never know what's going to happen in your day-to-day life. You could wake up and something bad could happen or something good could happen. And I don't like to stress over the things about my future. I like living day to day and trying to make the best out of that day, because tomorrow is not existent. Tomorrow is never granted. And I think it's very important just to live in the present, as that's considered a gift, and work for your future, and leave everything that happened in the past in the past. And this is one of my favorite sayings I love to say, and I've said it since I was in like middle school. When you're driving down the road, chat, you're driving and you're looking into your rear view mirror, what are you doing? You're leaving everything behind you. And I kind of like translate that to our lives that we live in now, is when we're living in the present, and we focus on the future and we focus on what we're going to do tomorrow, we kind of have that, tendency to leave everything in the past. Because for me, I used to be the person that lived in the past. I carried all those burdens, all that anxiety, and I just felt miserable because I would live in the past and not live in the present. And I think it's very important to understand that once you start living in the present, you can start putting the pieces to the puzzle together a little bit more. And like, we can't fix the past. That's one of the biggest things that we need to learn and understand is whatever happened then, it could happen yesterday, it could happen a week ago, it could happen a month ago, it could happen years ago. But whatever happened then is a lesson. And what I like to say is I turn these lessons in life into a blessing. Because if God's waking you up every morning and he's waking you up for another day, that means you got some type of purpose here. You might not know your purpose. I might not know my purpose, but there is some type of significant reason why God is waking you up every day. So I feel like it's very important to understand when you wake up and you produce that good, like that positive energy, then you're going to have a good positive day. But if you wake up and you produce that evil, that negative energy, you're going to wake up and have a negative, evil day. And I just feel like it goes like that for the most part, because like for me, I used to wake up, when I was in school, like, man, I gotta go to school again. Then I got work. And I'll just be so frustrated, so stressed because I'd have so many things I gotta do. And I would just be dwelling on it. And I, would be negative about it. And then once I started flipping that around and started waking up and be like, okay, I got school today. Okay, I got work today. We're gonna knock it out and we're gonna do the best that we can while we're there. It's all about doing 10% better today than we did yesterday, doing 10% better tomorrow than we did today. And once you start developing that mindset, once you start developing that genuinosity, you can start putting these pieces together. And I just feel like that's the only way to really be successful, is be positive, have that good in your heart. What you give to the community is what you get back in return. And like for me, I talk about all the time is I want to give. That's what I want to do in my life. I'm a firm believer in the manifestation part. Like I said, like if you were to walk into a grocery store or walk into a convenience store and you go up to somebody like, hey man, you got a nice jacket today. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you got a nice pair of kicks today. And you start that conversation, you start off in a good way, you compliment somebody. Eventually down the road, you're going to get that compliment back. You know what I'm saying? It takes 5 seconds to say one good compliment to somebody and make that person have a better day. You never know what somebody else has been through in their life. So why not encourage somebody to have a better day? Why wouldn't you want to compliment somebody to see a smile on somebody's face? I feel like for me, that's the biggest thing I love in this life, is being able to walk up to somebody and give somebody a compliment. And then they have that smile, ear to ear, and they're just happy. Because like I said, you never know what somebody's been through in their lives. And I feel like that's the biggest part where a lot of people don't understand. If we say there was 10 people in a room together, 10 random people, we don't know each other, say it's me and then 9 other random people I've never met in my life. If we were to all throw our problems into a middle of a pile, 99.9% of us would take our own problems and walk out the door with our own problems, not even bearing somebody else's. We're not going to, that just kind of shows you that somebody else's problems is probably worse than what our problems are. And I'm not saying everybody's got problems. Everybody's been through some type of adversity or some type of defeat battle where that sits in their past life. But that's the thing that God wants us to do, is God wants us to live in the present. God wants us to come to him for our burdens and our anxiety. And God gives us that. He sent his only begotten son to die on the cross for our sins so we can become a new person with Christ. We are all like images of Christ. And I talked about it before, it's something called the lemon. This is also one of my favorite things to show on people that you might not be seeing these lives. You might not see the other live when I talked about the lemon, but this is just one of the things I love to talk about as we're talking about it now. But this is something that, I love. And this is actually on one of my other devotions not too long ago. But I found this on, go to his YouTube page real quick. I'm going to shout out Louis Gilligo. This is one of my favorite preachers on YouTube. He kind of helped me get back into Christ and actually listen to his sermons and devotions. It's just something that, I feel like he's a really good preacher and he helped me get through a lot. But shout out this man right here. Where's this thing at? Louis Gilligo. If you haven't already, go subscribe to him if you're interested in learning more about Christ or listen to his devotions. He has a lot of different devotions. And I will say, for the most part, they are fire. They are absolutely heated. You know, I would sit there and I would just be like, wow, I've learned so much just from listening to him, and I continue to learn from him. But this is one of the things I wanted to show you guys is everybody in this world, when you are born as a kid or an infant, when you're born as a baby, you have something called a limninum. This is it's a cell that is in your back. I believe it is. I think it's in your back. But everybody has one of these. Everybody has a limninum, and it makes a cross. So if that doesn't give you more hope or more faith that Jesus is real, then I don't know. Because when I seen this and I started doing the science research and, started figuring out that everybody in the world when you're born has one, this is what it looks like, chat. This is a close diagram of one, but it's built into a cross. You can see the cross. But yeah, chat, that was something that kind of stood out to me for the most part. I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying, chat? Like, I was like, wow. And when I had that and I seen that, it kind of just made me like kind of get the chills a little bit. I was like, so everybody in the world has one of those molecules. So I think that's really cool. I wanted to bring that up for the most part as well. I'm a repetitive person. I'll talk about the repetitive things in life because that's how our lives are. Especially if you go to school, if you go to work, every day is a repetitive day. Say you work Monday through Friday, every Monday through Friday throughout the year. If you stay working at that same job, it's a repetitive job. So you're going to be in the same repetitive pattern. I feel like once you start saying the good things and you start repeating yourself, you can like put that into existence. So I'm a very firm believer, like I said with the manifestation, like I'm a firm believer saying uncomfortable to be comfortable, or every day is a great day to have a great day. And once you start saying these things repetitive in this, you will start being able to see the progress that comes into it. Like I said, don't get your hopes up though, because it's not going to happen in the same day, I promise you. You're going to have to be patient. It's better to be patient and wait a while than to rush things and have things fall apart. I feel like that's also another one that I love to say as well, because patience is the biggest key. That's with anything that you're doing in life. But go off with the last part of this passage is the mouth speaks what is in the heart. We may try to hide the way we think or feel, but eventually it will come out and reveal the true state of our hearts. And speaking about the having the good or having the evil in your heart, I feel like that also kind of goes with like anger and frustration. Anger or frustration or like stress. The mouth speaks what is in the heart. We may try to hide the way we think or feel, but eventually it will come out and reveal the true state of our hearts. And I feel like that's a lot of people are easily to get tempered or easily to get angered. So a lot of us, we retaliate to different problems, whether it's somebody wishing bad things upon you or spreading negative thoughts or negative energy on your name. Our first thought in our mind is to be retaliate, to retaliate and to bash them back. But once you can start figuring out how to be okay with somebody dictating you, now I'm not saying like feed into it, right, chat? I'm not saying feed into it, but like just love that person like you would want to be loved, right, chat? Instead of like retaliating, instead of just throwing all those negative things into your life, take the time to step back and understand that you have to love that person as God would want to love that person. It's very important to understand what would Jesus do. And that's what I try to say every day I wake up now is what would Jesus do today? And do I fail a lot? Absolutely. I fail a lot. I'm not perfect. And, the one thing is just doing to be perfect. It's just showing up and doing the perfectiousness. And once you start figuring it out, it comes into a day-to-day life, and it comes into like an equation that you're adding to yourself. And I kind of feel like for the most part, like I said, I'm not perfect. There's a lot of days I have a stellar mouth. I'm trying to work on my cursing, but like once I started like telling myself I can stop cursing and I can stop doing these negative, hateful words to people, or like even just saying the words in a sentence, I've been doing a lot better at chat. I feel like there's only been a couple of live streams in the past, ever since I made that promise to myself where I might have slipped up on, but that's just because I didn't even like process me saying it, because as a yapper and as somebody that talks a lot, sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. But I feel like it's barely been rare since I've been cussing on these live streams, and I'm really working on myself to get that part of my valuable life out of me, because I feel like when you're cussing and you're cursing, it's just like, what am I doing? Especially if you're around kids and stuff like that. Like, I'm trying to be better at doing that. Just being away from having to say these cuss words and like make somebody else feel some type of way. And especially when I do have kids in the future, like I don't want to be cussing around my kids. You know, I want my kids to grow up in a good environment home where they're learning how to be successful in the future and learning about Jesus and learning about the things that they need to accomplish in their life. But it's just one of those things, like I said, so like whatever is in your heart, you know, it will reveal through the state of your, you know, it will be the revealed the truth, the state of our hearts. And like I said, I believe that when you're angry and you're mad, you know, it talks from your heart and it comes out your mouth. You know what I'm saying, Chad? Especially if you're talking and you're having a conversation with somebody, or somebody's, you know, agging it on or something like that. But once you can look at that bully or look at that someone that's dictating you and be like, look, I understand you might feel this type of way, but I still love you anyways. And Jesus loves you too. Once you give that to that person, they're going to be astonished. They're going to be like, what did you say to me? What did you say to me? And then you can like eventually hopefully that changes their hearts to, you know, stop dictating people and start spreading negative nature. And unfortunately, we live in an evil world, chat. We live in a world now that our generation would much rather see somebody fail than to be able to be successful, or see somebody be pinned down than to be successful. Like, and that's just how it is. It's a sad world that we live in. People can't forgive people. People can't, you know, love thy neighbor that they would want to be loved by, or just be able to treat people with kindness. You know, my dad always told me to kill them with kindness, and ever since I heard that, it's been kind of easier just to let people kind of just be who they want to be. But like that's the thing, you know, you ask yourself, like I said with the retaliation part, when somebody's dictating you, of course, like you would want to retaliate back. That's just our first instance. Like, yeah, I would feel good to hit you. You know what I'm saying, Chad? Like, I would feel good to, you know, slap you. But once you start looking at like what would Jesus do, it kind of just helps your mental be at peace. And I've really found a good peace at mind for the longest time now. And this year it's been ups and downs, but for the most part, you know, we're living. That's all it is just living. Just keep living. Never forget why life, you know, never forget why life started. You know what I'm saying, Chad? Like, don't let life forget why you started. And just keep attacking your dreams and goals every single day, and eventually something's gonna, like I said, come in return. Moving on to our next passage, though, we need to ask ourselves this question: what do I want most of all to reflect? I'm sure for most of us who truly love God, the answer will be a definite, I want to reflect Jesus. We should all want to reflect the beauty of Jesus, his attributes and character, and we can. The fruit of God's character, which is produced in us through the indwelling Holy Spirit, develops and grows into full harvest as we live in intimate relationships with our Lord. You know, talking about this part as well, like the reflection part of Jesus, and that goes back to like, what would Jesus do? I feel like when you're actually taking time to understand who Jesus is, and you're actually looking upon what Jesus did for us, it kind of makes you want to be able to do the same thing that he did for somebody else. You know, God sent his only begotten son to die on the cross for us, the people. And, you know, this is like one of the biggest parts that I've understood now, is he loved everybody. He loved everybody, chat. And to be able to go up there and get yourself nailed on the cross, and to have those blood and tears and salvation be shedded onto him, that's a responsibility that a lot of people wouldn't take in this life, chat. A lot of people wouldn't do that for somebody else. And it wasn't just for 1 to 2 to 3 people. It was for 8 billion people in this world now, chat. And however more other people there was before my time. So 8 billion probably way more people. You know what I'm saying, chat? I don't know the right number of how many people has been on this earth or not, but there's definitely been way more people that Jesus sacrificed himself for us. But right now there's about 8 billion people in the world, I believe. So if we were to just say 8 billion, that's a lot of people that Jesus sacrificed himself for. Am I right, chat? Like, that's a lot of people. So just understand that Jesus loved us with his heart intimately, and he gave us his hope, and he gave us our future to be able to make it to heaven. And, you know, looking back, like all the sins that we've committed, like everybody is a sinner. We're all sinners. But it's all about learning from our past. Like I said earlier, learning from our past, learning from those lessons of adversity, and be able to contribute to it for the future, and be able to do better, be able to work on it and do better. But if you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again, obviously you're not going to learn anything because you're putting yourself in situations to keep putting yourself down. But once you start working on those past problems and you're like, okay, I need to be better at this, I need to be better at that, you can start being better. It's just about just doing it in life. I don't really like to say the word trying. For me, for the most part, like, I look at the word trying and I feel like that's just an excuse word, because like I'll sit there in my bed and like say, I'll be like, well, I need to try to get up and go to work out, or I need to try to get up and do this or do that. And 9 times out of 10, I don't do it. You know what I'm saying, Chad? But like once you have that in your mindset saying, I need to do this today, I need to do that today, you get yourself up and you go do it. But I feel like the trying part just leads to, I'll do that tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, you don't do it. Oh, I can do it the next day. Well, next day comes, you don't do it. Next week comes, you're like, I need to do it today. You know what I'm saying, Chad? I just feel like trying is kind of not the right proper language for that part. We have one more passage before we finish this off. Like I said, I felt like this devotion kind of like tied it in with a lot of different things that I've been, working with. And like I said, I just feel like what I preach about in all my other live streams, and I talk about it every day, I feel like this has kind of been a really good devotion to be able to talk about. And for the most part, I just feel like it's something that, I feel like other people can tie into and be able to relate to it as well. Just something that I was reading, I was like, I need to talk about this one, chat. I need to talk about this one right here. But like I said, hopefully in the near future we'll get more content being able to be created. I know this week at some time we're going to be doing a job application live stream, so we're just going to be sitting down going absolutely bizarre on the job applications. I'm talking about submitting like 100 applications, chat. We're going to figure out which jobs I would want to work at, and we're going to apply for them. I don't know yet. We're gonna figure out what's offering around my local area, but we're gonna figure out something. And hopefully, you guys who tunes into the live stream will be able to help me as well. Just try to get me back up on my feet, get a job again. But for the meantime, I'm saying, chat, like, I ain't trying to work a full-time job, if I'm being honest. I'll work like a part-time job. Work 3 days a week. You know what I'm saying, chat? Work 3 days a week so I can still have a lot more time to work on my content. Because I've been talking about it for the past month now. I want to get back into MMA. I want to be able to get back up at 5 a.m. every morning, go to my class at 6 a.m. Then that's how I want to start my day every day. Because I want to be up for a whole day. Like, if I'm waking up at 5 a.m. every day and getting to bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, chat, like, you know what I'm saying? I'll get to have a lot more time to focus on myself. And say I work 3 days a week. Say I was to work like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday or something like that, chat. That would be a blissful schedule. Work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wake up at 5 a.m. on those days. Be at my first MMA class at 6 a.m. Then come home, eat breakfast, probably get on recordment or whatever, read the Bible, read the book, whatever I'm doing. And then say I work at like 10 a.m. to like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. That would be a tough schedule, Chad. I would love that schedule. But it's just about, this is what I'm telling myself, is I'm just waiting for that right job opportunity to come up. And I know God's going to guide me down the direction I need to be guided down. It's just all about trusting his timing. Like I said before, God's timing is better than our timing. And that's just one thing I've always come to conclusion, is to always trust what God's doing in my life. No matter what I'm going through, no matter where I'm at in my life, just keep trusting that he has this all planned out. Because God sends his strongest soldiers down those hardest battles, because he knows you as an individual can get through those battles or through those problems. I always like to talk about this as well with Satan. Satan's going to throw those curveballs at you guys. Satan's going to throw those things that he knows that's going to make you upset. He knows it's going to make you angry. He knows that's going to make you frustrated and stressed and sad and depressed. But it's just all about, are you willing to be at that batter box, hit that grand slam with God, and run around the bases with God and not let Satan win? Because if you let Satan strike you out, you lost. It's strike 3, you're out. You know what I'm saying, chat? You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things, like, you just gotta keep on trusting the Lord and keep letting him guide you in the direction that he wants to be, that you're wanting to be guided down. And the more that you pray and the more that you're building that relationship, God will see that. Christ will see that. And eventually those prayers that you've been asking for will eventually be answered. Like I said, you have to be patient for those, prayers. But moving on to our last section, we have God transfers us by the renewing of our minds. Romans 12:2. This comes through the living word of God. We must allow God to transform us as we read and meditate on his word. Our whole selves, body, soul, and spirit must be in alignment with God's word and placed under the lordship of Christ. In so doing, we will not be conformed to any other standard, and over time, we will have a heart that truly reflects the beauty of Christ. Now, going back to the transformations and going back to waking up with the good and not the evil, just reminding yourself, with a good heart, and you give good to other people, you'll get that in return. And I feel like this last section is saying, with Jesus, with our Father, with our God, our Holy Spirit, the more that you let it align in with God's word, with our lives, you can start seeing the beauty of Christ. You can start seeing the beauty of everything that he's put in front of you. Because there's a lot of days I forget like how blessful I really am with the things I have in front of me. And, this is what kind of really helped me get back into content creating. If y'all weren't familiar, when I was like 14 years old, I started live streaming on Twitch. I got affiliate by 15, so I had ad revenue in my streams. I was averaging at one point, I was averaging 20 views a stream at 15 years old, chat. And obviously, that's really good for a 15-year-old. I'm, there's no glaze in there or anything like that, but at me 15, streaming Fortnite, Rainbow, Minecraft, all those games, getting, 15, anywhere from 15 to 20 viewers a stream, I fell in love with the content idea. But then I turned 16, got a car, got a job, and I kind of just pushed away the content creating. And then over the last couple of years, from my junior year of high school, I built me a PC. That was some of the Christmas items, I asked my fam for. They got me for Christmas, so I used the parts that I got for Christmas my junior year of high school to build me a new PC. And then I bought me another monitor, so I have 2 monitors now. I have a PC, nice keyboard, have all these things that I've worked for and put my money towards. And then over my junior year of high school, I lost myself, started doing the wrong things in life, started hanging out with friends, started just going out more, doing the things I wanted to do, and not really disciplining myself with the content creating that I had in front of me. And over that, junior year to senior year, until I graduated high school, I realized that I had, this whole setup right in front of me that I could have been streaming this whole time. And I let it go right by. I let it pass by. And, it's one thing I can't get back. And do I regret not streaming like what I'm doing now? Absolutely. I wish I was doing this, 3 years ago in my life, and I feel like if I was to do it 3 years ago and still be doing it now, obviously there would be some type of reward already. But, we learn from our lessons and we count for our blessings. And then I started understanding that God has put all these things in front of me for a reason. And I started putting my mind, together. I started putting the pieces together. I was like, I have 2 monitors, I have a PC, I have a nice microphone, I have a good phone to IRL stream, I have all these things right in front of me. I got 2 cameras. What am I doing? Why am I not doing the things that God's put in front of me? God will give you signs, but sometimes it's hard to read those signs that God gives you. And sometimes you might not even see it or understand it. But for me, when I started just waking up one day and I was like, God put all these things in front of me for a reason. Why am I not using them to my best ability? Why am I just letting it sit there, grab dust and, me not even touch it? And for the longest time, I had that, I didn't touch my PC. I got out of gaming. I used to be a big gamer. Then for now, I just can't sit down and play a video game by myself no more. There's some days I'll be craving to play, but there's a lot of days where I'm just, I want to be outside. I want to be in the sunlight. I want to be in the energy, because sunlight brings energy. That's the positive energy. But I don't know if y'all can see, but I have a little bit, you can see the bedboard a little bit. Hold on. Y'all can see the bedboard a little bit, but my curtains back there, they are they're the curtains that blocks out all the sun. And I don't know. I like them because it blocks out all the sun, but at the same time, I wish I had that window that just craved the sunlight through my window. I wish I had a second window or something, chat. But sometimes it's good to not, when I wake up and it's not bright. There's a lot of days where I wish I just had a lot of sun just coming through and smacking me in the face. But to go back to, back to that with the, we'll have, and in his doing, we will not be confirmed to any other standard, and over time we will have a heart that truly reflects the beauty of Christ. That goes back just how we reflect ourselves in the mirror, chat. And I'm a big firm believer, if you wake up every morning, you look into the mirror and you remind yourself that every day is a great day to have a great day, and you remind yourself how wonderful a person you are, and you give yourself those little extra quotes in your life, you can start putting things together and you can start seeing yourself in a better expectation form. I'm a firm believer also excuse me, chat. Self-love is the most important thing we need to have. If we want to be accomplishable, if we want to be successful, if we want to make that business, that clothing brand, that the content creating, if we want to do all these things, we have to have self-love. That goes to everybody in the world. If you don't have self-love, first of all, you can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself. So take note. Stop rushing yourselves into relationships, because I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing all the posts on Snapchat and Instagram saying, this person just broke up with me, this person did that. Maybe because you just got a relationship and you're trying to rush yourself into another relationship. I mean, it's common sense, you know what I'm saying, chat? Like, and like, I really pray for the people that like feel like they always have to have somebody in their life and they can't be alone. I really pray for those people, because I used to be the same way. I used to crave, having someone beside me. But then I started understanding that it is okay to be alone, because reality, we are not alone. We have God. God is with us. You know what I'm saying, chat? Like, God is sitting right here with me. And I just started understanding that being alone is okay. Not only are you finding out who you really are, spending more time alone, but you're also being able to build up those characteristic traits, those personality traits, to make yourself stronger. And like I said, if you don't have self-love, you can't love somebody else. I think it's very important, especially if you do go through a breakup situation or you go through some type of situation in life, to use that as an advantage to work on yourself. Use that as an advantage to overcome those fears and doubts of relationships and just become a strong individual with yourself. And not only that, but once you start loving yourself, you can start giving love, to everybody. You can just start viewing people in a different way without judging or criticizing. And, it takes going through a very bad adversity lesson to get to where you are in life, because everybody has some sort of testimony. Everybody has some sort of story to be told. But are you willing to tell your testimony? Are you willing to tell your story? And, the beauty of Christ is he's living with us. We're all like images of Christ, so he is with us. And I think that's the major game plan to understand that, is God is always with us and he's always working with us and not against us. But that does include the devotion today, chat. We started off with a banger. We got some, Tricky came in. She was, very nice, gave me a follow, gave me some bits. We even listened to her song. Shout out Tricky. If you haven't already, go hit the subscribe button on her channel and go give that new song a like in the shorts. I'm glad I get to help somebody and they help me back out in return. I feel like it's a win-win. You know what I'm saying, chat? I can't complain. But I'm just glad I went live at the right time today. Yeah, we're going to try to get some good sleep tonight, chat. I'm going to try to wake up for the new week. Tomorrow's chest day in the gym. We're going to have a good chest day. Maybe after I get done working out, if I can get there at a good time, might come back home and do a reacting video live stream or a YouTube something. I don't know. We're going to do something else besides the workout as well. We're going to live stream our workout, and we're going to come home and we're going to live stream something else on the computer. I know I do got to plan that job application live stream this week at some point. I'm not too for sure which day I'm going to do it on. Try to plan a little bit ahead of time so I can have that day planned out, because I already know it's going to take hours to get all these applications filled out. My objective is to fill out like 10 applications. I also need to build me a resume. So we're going to have to build a resume, find those jobs, fill out the job applications, submit the applications, and then the next day what we're going to do is we're just going to make the calls. You know what I'm saying, chat? It's like, say I do it on Wednesday, then Thursday we're going to go live again, and we're going to be making those phone calls, and we're going to try, get that job alignment. But for the most part, hey, we're living life. We're living the way that we envisioned that we want to do. We're just going to keep moving forward in a positive direction. And whatever happens, it happens. We all know it's going to be a better reason. Whatever happens, happens. I just feel like that's the best thing to go in life, is just take a step back and, just come to reality and know that everything will be okay. Everything will be fine. We just got to keep on working hard and understand that we got to be patient in this life for the reward that we want. But with that being said, guys, we're going to end it off with a prayer. We have daily prayer going. If y'all have any type of prayer request or anything like that, I plan on starting a Discord server soon. It's going to have pretty much it's going to have my sports picks. It's going to have a devotion group in there. So it's going to have it's going to have a general chat in the Discord. Then it's going to have my sports picks locks. And then it's going to have, obviously my videos that I post. I'm going to start posting them into the Discord as well. And then I'm also going to have a Bible study group in there as well. So we're going to try to tie everything together in a Discord, and hopefully I can start building a community through Discord and be able to help people as much as I can. Just be able to talk to people. But if y'all have anything, prayer requests, or if y'all have any type of, conversation that you want to talk to me about, please feel free to, PM me. My socials are down below. Now you got my Instagram, got my TikTok, got my Snapchat, got my Twitter, got everything down below. If y'all want to go check out those channels as well, please share or follow, please share a like, you know what I'm saying, chat. But yeah, feel free to hit me up if y'all ever need anything or a conversation to talk about. I'm always here for anybody that ever needs to talk. With that being said, guys, we're going to get this prayer going and we're going to do something out of here. Dear Heavenly little Father, thank you for another great, blissful day of waking me up today. Thank you for letting me have the opportunity of striving myself to show up on time and show up to the things that I love doing. Will you please pray for me as I keep moving forward in the life that you have put out in front of me, the dreams that you have put in my mind when I go sleepily to rest. Will you please help me keep guiding in the direction that you want me to guide in? Will you please pray for the people that are uncertain about where they are in life right now? Will you please pray for the people that feel alone when they really don't know that they're not alone? I know when times gets hard, it's hard to run to you, Lord. And a lot of people want to idolize music or idolize some type of form to be a distraction from whatever problem that they're going through. But the only way that we can get past through our anxieties and burdens is to call your name, Lord, and to sit there and pray with you, Lord. And I hope that I can help seek others to find who you are in the name of your name, and help people come to the enlightenment of showing you who you really are and what you have done for the people in this life. I hope that as every day keeps continuing to go in our way and keep driving for the future that we envisioned, is I can help people come to the Lord and be saved in your name, Jesus. Will you please help for the people that need it the most, that struggle with depression, anxiety, mental stigma, whatever it may be. Will you please help them guide to you, Lord? Will you help them guide into the direction that you need them to be guided in? In Jesus' precious name, amen. Well, with that being said, guys, it's been your boy ZST, aka Zach Son of Time, guys. Had a pleasure doing this devotion. Like I said, this is definitely one of my favorite devotions. I felt like it really tied in with the stuff that I like to say every day, and hopefully my message could help one of you. Also, like I said, shout out Tricky for coming in here, giving me the bits, giving me the follows. Glad I could help her out. She helped me out. Like I said, win-win situation. With that being said, guys, I love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for chest day. We're gonna get pumped, chat. We're gonna get pumped.